Today, in Chapter 45 of Yoga Vasistha, we will discuss topics such as the non-separability of Brahman and creation, the non-significance of the universe, the superiority of Brahman rasa, and the story of the rock and the statue. Welcome, my beloved disciple Lord Rama. Come, sit with me. Fix your mind with absolute reverence as we embark on this journey into our sacred truths, really pulling back the curtain to unveil the pure mechanics of existence.
Yes, as we set out today, our path for this discourse is beautifully clear. We're going to uncover exactly how Brahman and creation are inseparable before exploring the profound depths of Brahman Rasa. I speak to you today simply to awaken the ancient wisdom that is already resting, dormant right there within you.
But before we advance, we absolutely must bridge our understanding from Canto 44. Remember, Rama, what is Brahman? It is the absolute truth. It is infinite, unbroken consciousness. We have to realize that all of space-time and those relentless desires of the mind, well, they aren't absolute truths. They are merely mechanical projections layered right on top of this infinity.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the inseparability of Brahman and creation.
So how exactly does the infinite relate to the physical world you see around you? Well, verse 4 presents a truly monumental truth. It states, quite plainly, that the creator and the created universe cannot be divided. In our sacred language, the infinite is Brahman, and the manifestation is Sarga. They are intrinsically one. The literal meaning here is that just as you literally cannot separate coldness from ice, you simply cannot sever the universe from its divine source.
Think of it this way. Brahman and creation are not two separate entities sitting side by side on a shelf. They are the ocean and the waves. A wave is really nothing but the ocean in motion, right? Even modern science mirrors this profound truth through the concept of the unified field of energy. Everything, the whole shebang, is fundamentally one continuous field entirely inseparable from Brahman.
Which brings us to Section 2, space, time, and mind. Let's elevate our vision here, Rama, and look at the very fabric in which you feel you exist. In verses 5 and 6, we encounter this fascinating idea of the shrinking of the universe. The literal translation tells us that this physical universe, with all its towering mountains and vast oceans that seem so overwhelmingly massive to the human eye, is actually infinitesimally small. When you place it next to the absolute reality of Brahman, this entire universe is but a shrinking, microscopic dot.
So you might be wondering, why does the universe seem so vast to us? Well, it's because of the mind. Philosophically speaking, what the mind focuses on and desires completely dictates your experience of space and time. It projects the illusion of scale. Compared to the true infinite expanse of the transcendent mind, this entire physical cosmos is barely a speck of dust. Your true nature is far grander than the stars themselves. Let's move on to Section 3, Transcendent Brahman Rasa.
Understanding our true scale, we must naturally seek the highest experience available to us. Verse 7 introduces us to a magnificent concept, Brahman rasa. By definition, this is the supreme divine nectar. It's the absolute essence of pure consciousness. It is a state of spiritual joy that wholly transcends all temporary worldly experiences and those petty, fleeting sensory pleasures.
You see, worldly joys are always tied to the mind's illusions of space and time, but Brahman rasa, it is far superior. Once this transcendental taste of self-knowledge is truly experienced, the mind's frantic external projections just dissolve. The endless hunt for worldly happiness evaporates, simply because you have finally found the very source of bliss right within yourself.
Okay, Section 4, the rock and the statue.
To perfectly anchor this dense philosophy into your understanding, Rama, we turn to a beautiful story, because as you know, the scriptures give equal importance to storytelling as they do to direct instruction. But before I tell you the story, ask yourself this: how does the unmanifest, invisible universe suddenly become the manifest reality we see, touch, and feel? Well, verses 39 and 40 give us the sublime allegory of the rock and the statue. Imagine a master sculptor looking at an enormous, uncarved block of stone. To the ordinary eye, it's just a big rock. But the sculptor vividly observes a perfectly formed, exquisite statue already existing, completely hidden within that uncarved stone. He doesn't create the statue from nothing, does he? He merely chips away what is not the statue.
This brilliantly illustrates the exact nature of creation. Just as the statue exists implicitly and perfectly within the rock before a single chisel strikes, the entire universe exists as a pure potential within the unmanifest Brahman. It is your own mind that acts as the sculptor, projecting and carving out the manifest creation you experience daily. The world is already within the infinite. The mind just gives it apparent form.
Now, for Section 5, Wisdom for Everyday Life. High philosophy is absolutely beautiful, but how do we actually apply these teachings in our daily struggles? When you face a severe challenge, follow this structure. First, recognize the projection. Acknowledge that the problem is heavily colored by your own mind's fears and desires. Second, deconstruct the minutia. Break the problem down, and you will see it's just a mechanical arrangement of events in space and time. And third, detach. Step back into your true nature. You dismantle the problem by seeing it for the temporary illusion it really is. The absolutely crucial point of all our daily actions is this. True happiness will never be found by chasing external desires through the maze of space and time. No way. True, enduring happiness is an internal state. It's found only by resting deeply in the unadulterated knowledge of the self. You must remain anchored in Brahman, entirely detached from the world's fleeting illusions. And finally, Section 6, Summary of Canto 45. My dear Rama, as we wrap up, let's gather these golden threads of wisdom and tie them firmly into your heart. Never forget these foundational truths. Brahman and creation are as inseparable as the ocean and its waves. Space, time, and this massive physical universe are completely relative. They're nothing but projections of your own mind. The ultimate goal is Brahman Rasa, the transcendent spiritual joy. And this entire creation already exists within the pure potential of Brahman, just like a flawless statue waiting within an uncarved rock.
I leave you with this final, vital question, Rama. If the universe is simply a projection of your own mind, what reality will you choose to carve from the rock of infinite consciousness? Will you carve an illusion of suffering and bondage, or will you carve a masterpiece of ultimate liberation? The chisel is in your hands. May the grace of the Guru and the light of supreme self-knowledge guide you, always.